Hello. Welcome to the exciting world of cryptocurrencies, cryptocurrency building, and liquidity pool building. I want to introduce you to a project. This project is known as XRBitcoinCash. This is the website for XRBitcoinCash. This project was built in 2022, so that makes it 3 years old. This project in particular. So, this is not currently ranked. The market cap is $2,300. That is how much XRP is in the liquidity pool. Not a lot. So, XRP has billions in the liquidity pool. So, the upside to XRP is not nearly what could be considered life-changing wealth. This is the very beginning, and the fully diluted valuation for this project as of right now is 1.8 million. Now the circulating supply is 26,200. That is how many tokens are in circulation. So the total supply of this project is 20,999,934. It started out as 21 million to mirror Bitcoin. So this project was meant to mirror Bitcoin, but on the XRP Ledger. So as you can see, some of these tokens have been burned, meaning people either bought or got airdropped the 67 tokens that have been burned. There's no limit to how many tokens can be burned, and the reasons for them to be burned would be utility, or simply somebody just doesn't want them anymore, or they want to burn them to create more value for tokens that they currently own. So also, another consideration is there's 152 holders of this token already between these 26,000 tokens. The trust line is 886. That is how many people have created trust lines on the XRP Ledger for this particular project in 3 years. There's 0 issuing fees, and the project is black hold, which means that there will never be any more tokens created for this particular project. This is the date it was created on, 2022, the first day or the first month of the 5th day. The all-time high of this project was in 2022, and it was 0.39 cents per token. The all-time low was in 2023, and it was 0.0024 XRP. The current trading amount is 0.09, which is 9 cents US. There are 2,600 X followers for this particular project. These are the top holders. So this is the main wallet. It still owns 99.87% of the total supply. This is another wallet. This is owned by the AMA pool. The estimated value of that is 1,000. Quantity of tokens in the pool are 12,000. That's what could be purchased, generally speaking, from the pool itself. This person has 1,100 tokens, 1,000 tokens, 1,700. So the list kind of is pretty self-explanatory here. As it goes down, there's just not a whole lot of holders of this. So these are not large amounts. So as you can see, there's nobody with a massive amount of these tokens except for the wallet, and that would be used to release the tokens as more people buy them and to create a larger liquidity pool. Now the goal of this is to let these tokens be released slowly So there's not a giant Satoshi bag out there, so to speak. I don't know if you understand what that means, but with Bitcoin, there is a massive, massive downfall that can happen at any time. Whoever owns that particular wallet that has that large amount of tokens could decide to sell and utterly obliterate the liquidity pool for Bitcoin, causing chaos, market crash, and it would completely upset the entire cryptocurrency market, but it would change the landscape of it. This is never going away. This is the future of global finance. It is more efficient, and it uses very little energy as compared to the SWIFT system. SWIFT system was great for a very long time, but as we evolve, so will our needs and our ability to trade globally. Logistically, we are becoming a lot more efficient as a species, so why wouldn't our financial system mirror that? Makes sense that it would. So the volume, as you can see, I'll put the max here. The 1 day, 1 month, none of that even matters. But this is as it's being bought and sold over a long period of time. As you can see, there's spikes, dips, but this is as the market is changing, as the AMA is being rolled out. Being a small project, there's movement. It's just a small project. Here's the market cap. It had a spike. Well, this is the 1 week. We don't want that. We want to look at this. So this is before the AMA even was rolled out. We had some movement and spikes. There were some things being done in the project that caused that. But this is when the market maker arrived. So as you can see, it's been moving and going up. And then the drop off is just, there hasn't been any cryptocurrency in this particular project moved out in this certain amount of time right here between 2025 to May to June. Its rank is not currently available because it's not ranked, because it's a brand new project. I mean, a 3-year-old project is still a brand new project. These are the traders. It shows you who's been trading. So the project is active. It's just in beta, so to speak. I guess essentially what I'm trying to convey here is there's no reason this project wouldn't be as large as Ethereum, Doge, Shiba Inu, or any project. The only thing that really makes that happen is marketing and the interest of the, I don't want to say investor, I want to say collector in the project. Because as the community piles in, that's where the value comes from. Now, how does that happen? It either happens as, let's say, a flash mob for no apparent reason, or maybe one investor sees, okay, this really does have great potential, and they buy a bunch of the tokens, which creates a bit of a lopsidedness in ownership. But that being said, if the liquidity pool spikes up dramatically, then that does automatically create interest. That is not necessarily a good or a bad thing. It really depends on the intentions of the investor, the creator, and everybody else involved in the project. Now, I can say from my end, I want the project to go on for as many years as possible, maybe even after I'm gone, because I put a lot of work into this, and I believe in the XRP Ledger, and I believe that they can bring a liquidity pool that creates a level playing field for the global financial system. Say like a bankless economy, maybe in a third world country. If they can own these tokens and have them, let's say, on a cold wallet, hot wallet, however they'd have it, however they'd have their seed phrase, they can have value stored, and they can tap into that value without any fees. without any energy being used. So this would create literally a global bank that it can be used by any economy. That is why I got involved with the XRP Ledger. Now, if you understand what I just said there, then you're one of the very few. You have a greater understanding of global economics than most people do. And that's fine. We're all different. I just really believe that this, no matter what, the XRP Ledger will create a breakthrough for the global economy that will provide the ability to bring value to places that would not normally have it, to create medicine, the ability to logistically get medicines places, foods, and other supplies, because obviously you need a truck to bring the stuff to where you need it. Now, if there's no bank in, let's say, a arid region, then the only way there's any value out there is a stamped out or written down seed phrase or numeric password that would have a store of value, which would bring the truck out there. That's just the most basic way I can put it. Now, when you can create this on a global scale and roll it out, it's an uncontrollable phenomenon, and that is what's happening. I created these projects, I have several of them, in order to support Ripple as they were being, I don't know, I don't want to say prosecuted, but challenged by certain government agencies because possibly they were believed to be nefarious in what they were doing, when clearly now greater minds can see what this is. So all that being said, I'm not trying to pump any particular project on the XRP Ledger. I'm simply trying to educate so people can understand how this all actually works from my point of view. And I think my point of view, and I've read a lot about this, and as you can see from what I've done here, that obviously I have a good concept of what is happening. I'm not going to talk to you about charts, patterns, or anything like that because none of that makes any sense. It's just it's nonsense. I'm just explaining how these liquidity pools and what this particular technology can and will ultimately do to better the world. Now, will people get burned in this? Will people lose? Will people gain massive wealth? Will there be winners and losers along the way? Of course. It's always been that way throughout history when currencies become volatile or change or become different. There's always going to be people that capitalize on it and people who lose. Usually due to nefarious actors, or they just simply need to take their liquidity out at the time to buy stuff because they need to live. People who invest and never take anything out in a company or project that prospers for 30 years, well, you know what? At the end of that 30 years, they always win, assuming they're able to live that long. And if not, then they would hopefully find a way to gift it to their family through various laws, depending on their country of origin. Now, this is an electronic asset. It's not a hard asset like gold or silver, so you wouldn't be able to just hand it to somebody. But with the proper education and transfer, then they would be able to access it if you secured it correctly for them or if you worked on it with them. So I'm going to go ahead and cut this particular video short. I'm going to make more videos like this. I just wanted to give a pretty large overview of what I've done here. And over the next year, I will try to break this down point by point as I go and as we go, and anybody who wants to be involved with this, to make it clear what we're doing here so that everybody understands what is happening along the way to create very little, if any, risk. Now, there's always risk, but the goal is to grow the XRP Ledger here. So if you own XRP and you want to get into one of these other projects and liquidity pools, you can. There's many, many of them. I'm just simply talking about one that I've created because I have been working on this for 3 years, and I wanted to survive more than anything. I just wanted to be a big part of this because I see the value in this, and I know it will regardless because the liquidity pools are already in place, and as XRP astronomically goes up over the next decade or 2 or 3, this pool is just going to shoot up regardless because the pool is already in place. But as people throw more into it or take more out or however they do it, it will impact it greatly as well as time goes on. So, all right, thank you for listening, and I hope you've understood what I'm trying to say. If you have any questions, feel free to leave a comment, and I will answer you back because I don't believe I'm going to get 10,000 comments on this. So it'll be very easy for me to look at the comment and then get back to you relatively quickly if you have any questions on any project or cryptocurrency in general. I will never contact anybody through the comment section and offer them any kind of special offers or anything like that. I won't really do any partnerships or anything where I would ask you for anything or I would give you anything that wouldn't be publicly announced on the website, the official website. So if I'm giving you any kind of answers to questions you might have, it's going to come with a warning of what I would do and what I wouldn't do and pitfalls to look out for. But I'm not giving financial advice because I just don't want anybody to jump too quickly and make a bad decision that impacts themselves and their family and their finances, because it's important that we are financially stable, all of us. Okay, thank you, and goodbye.